And it's been like that for so long, and we've just like, I mean, we were watching that Frontline thing the other night, and
Yeah, policing the police. It's about the Newark Police Department from 2014 to 2016 or thereabouts.
yeah,
Just following the department for a year, and it is worth watching. We can add it as a link on YouTube. It's only an hour long, and there was some great stuff on there.
yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, I guess, I mean, even in that, they were interviewing some policemen, and the interviewer was saying that when he was a kid and one of his first interactions with police was he was scared. It was like a terrifying experience because they were aggressive with him, and I think he said they threw him down on the ground, and he hadn't done anything. And he asked the police officer, is that the right way to do it? And he was like, oh yeah, well, you don't know, we have a scary job, and you never know what you're up against, and sometimes you just have to do that to be safe, and it's safer for you and it's safer for me. And there's this whole way of speaking that is so repulsive. And so I think you talk to someone like that and it's impossible to have a real conversation because they're just like macho, like, yeah, this is just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Get over it. Oh, it's safer for you. And they use that. And it reminded me of when I went up to the police officer in Port Authority like 8 or 9 years ago that had the machine gun. And I told him that seeing a man with a machine gun in Port Authority, regardless of whether it's police or not, made me feel super unsafe. And why are they walking around like that? And he basically, he said a similar thing. Oh, well, if we weren't here, you'd feel less safe. And it's like, no, I'm telling you that seeing you with a machine gun makes me feel unsafe, and you're not hearing me. You're just repeating this language that, for whatever reason, is what they say, that's like, oh, well, without us, you'd feel less safe.
Mm-hmm.
And as a society, we've come to believe that. When we I'm not typically a target of the police, and I felt unsafe seeing them. And I do feel unsafe seeing them. Every single time I'm on the subway and police officers come on and I'm sitting down and the gun is right in my eye level, that doesn't make me feel safe. I feel way safer when there's some person that is maybe a little erratic coming onto the subway, and I know that, like, I can just get off if something happens, or like, it's also probably fine. It's just a person. The chances of something actually happening are so low. But when I actually see a gun, like at eye level, I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's like recognizing these things and realizing that the whole system, that we're just being told that it's safer for us, and I don't think it actually is.
I don't see safety as the primary objective of a fully functioning police force. To me, it is about having a group of people that can follow up on things that will happen in life, What do you do with somebody that's driving drunk? What do you do with somebody that has robbed something? What do you?
Yeah.
And if you've been victimized, you wouldn't have the resources to just start from zero and figure out how to resolve that yourself. You'd need, ideally in a society, a collection of people that can handle that.
Right. And I guess, I would agree with that. There's a podcast I've been listening to about the abolition of prisons that's been on my rotation over the last week or so, or that I've added to my rotation. And I forget the name of it right now. It's something like prisons. It's a pretty like straightforward name, but we can also add that into the notes. And there was a good point that the woman that runs the podcast was talking about, one of the co-hosts, And she said something to the effect of, because she's for full, she's an activist for abolishing prisons, not reform. She's an abolitionist.
Yeah.
And so a thing that people say a lot of the times is, wow, so, like, really everyone? Like, what about the criminals? Like, everyone out? And she's like, yeah, that's what it means.
Right.
And she was saying how it doesn't mean that there's not going to be crime, and it doesn't mean that people aren't going to do things that are harmful or bad. That's just human nature. But the way that we deal with that really needs to change. And these systems that we've created are obviously not working. There's plenty of people that are doing harm that are never going to go to jail. The people that are running our country, the people that are, they're the people that do crime that are like white collar crime are often not caught. It's the people that do crime that is kind of more petty often that are caught. And then there's murderers, and there's, the big crimes. Yeah, I mean, I think to say that we all need to flip the way we're thinking about it is incorrect, because there are a lot of people that are already thinking about it in this way of abolishing, defunding, and reform until we get there. But I think those of us that haven't really given enough consideration to this, I think it is definitely time for everyone to at least consider it, at least think about it in a rational way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, things like abolishing the prisons and or abolishing the police would certainly be the adventure of our generation. And in a lot of ways, it would be super exciting. It would require a level of effort to do successfully that would be heroic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that part of the reason we think about it in those terms is because the concept of conservative has been kidnapped by authoritarians.
Mm.
The concept of conservative, as I envision it, is more how do we take our existing systems and improve them?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And right now, that's not a reasonable dialogue we're having right now. So the only thing that seems reasonable is to totally redo things, because there's nobody that can communicate the other side of the discussion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I would be excited if that happened, because it would be interesting to see what happened, and I would like to support it. There would be constant pressure against that.
Absolutely.
There would be because it would be something that not only would be contrary to what the rest of the globe is doing. There are police systems that function in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when you're saying it's contrary to what the rest of the globe is doing, I guess I don't know enough about what the rest of the globe does to know if that's a true statement or not. But I know I hear a lot about Scandinavian countries, for example, that have police forces, but they don't use weapons. They don't have guns. And maybe that's a place to start. Maybe in the effort towards fully defunding, maybe we start having less weapons and less guns that our police force are using. I mean, I know a lot of these murders don't use a gun. Police murdering people that they're capturing, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, George Floyd wasn't murdered with a gun, but Breonna Taylor was. And I know there would be so much pushback against that because so many people have guns in this country. But I don't know, that could be an interesting place to start. Make it less of a violent thing to be a police officer.
Yeah, I do think that's low-hanging fruit as far as I'm concerned, getting rid of the militarized equipment that police officers have, for starters. And I see, but once I start thinking down this path, that it doesn't feel like a path to abolish. It feels like a reform path.
That's true. That's true. Good point. Well, I guess, okay, so maybe it doesn't even really make sense for me to start creating ideas of how this could work, because there's people that have been working on this for a long ass time. And there's activists and there's abolitionists, and maybe I should just continue listening to the Abolish Prisons podcast and learn more and not just start creating my own ideas, because this isn't something I've been active with in the past. It's something I think about. I don't really, I don't love the way that our system works. I've always realized that there are problems, but I am new to realizing how incredibly cracked it all is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's really only this, like, very, very fresh in my mind to even be thinking about defunding and abolishing. So yeah,